Hi everyone. Okay, so today I am going to attempt to do a um hmm, yeah, you're getting from me today. Sorry about that. I'm going to do an update video as to where I have been and what has been going on. There are a few of you that know that I have had this crazy cough. I had pneumonia, bronchitis, the lingering cough. The cough didn't want to go away. It's been going on since about the first week in January. And just within the last few days, I've actually been able to talk. And my voice is just like really deep. And as long as I don't get overly excited or laugh too much, I do okay and kind of hold that cough at bay. And because I don't have anything else for you guys to look at, you get to look at my lace and doily book. So, and I did a video for that. I don't know. I think it was probably the last video. I don't remember. You know what? I think I didn't even upload that video. Yeah, I probably should, right? So, first things first. This is a lace and doily book that I made. I actually made two of them absolutely identical. I made one for my sweet sister Michelle, Ribbons, Roses, and Lace here on YouTube, and she wasn't expecting some of the gifts that she received. So it was kind of a surprise for her, but there's that. I will probably dig that video out, see where I went with it, and I will get that uploaded. But so where have I been? Sick. I've been sick, people. I get past the cough and that sort of thing, and in the whole time that this has been going on, I have also been, we've discovered that the cough was actually from my blood pressure medication, lisinopril, and it's a very mild dose. But for whatever reason, just all of a sudden the cough came from nowhere, and anybody who knows anything about lisinopril knows that it can cause kind of like a dry hacking cough. Well, mine was beyond a dry hacking cough. It was to the point where I couldn't even carry on a conversation, talk on the phone, anything, without coughing. And it would get into coughing fits that would last like all day long and then all night long. I wasn't getting any sleep. Nobody in the house was getting any sleep. It was a little crazy. And in the midst of all of that, nice doctor that I had to go see decided she was going to change my blood pressure medication so that we could get away from the lisinopril. Well, that became a crazy drama just in and of itself, and ended up in the emergency room twice because of it, with blood pressure so scary high that when they were doing the tests to make sure that I wasn't in the midst of having a stroke, the doctor kind of looked at me and said, wow. And I said, wow, what? And he said, I'm surprised you're still, and he scared my husband to death. He says, I'm surprised you're still carrying on a conversation and that you at least still have a sense of humor. And I said, why is that? And he said, because you should be full on in the midst of having a stroke. And, like really super high, up on the systolic, like way high, diastolic triple digits, way too high. And kind of scary. But I did and can honestly say I had probably one of the worst headaches I think I've ever had in my life. And I have suffered from migraines in the past, but yeah, so all of that about me, that's all done. Awaiting my appointment date for a new cardiologist, which is fabulous, and back on the lisinopril, which still kind of does the cough thing, but for this point, normally only at nighttime, which is odd, but yeah, that's what it says is pretty standard, and that's one of those things that happens. But for the most part now, blood pressure's kind of back down to normal, what it should be, and under control. I feel a lot better. I'm not so tired and feeling like I've been drugged through a knothole backwards. But along with that, I did say something in a previous video about my husband having had an injury to his left index finger. He damaged kind of right in this area, and I have his wedding ring on my finger because his hand is so swollen he can't put it on there. But long story there. Short story, long story, whatever. A story. But so March 21st, November 21st, the Saturday before Thanksgiving, he injured his finger right here. Almost cut the finger completely off his hand, severed the artery, did some serious damage to the nerves and tendons and whatnot. And they did the repair on that day. It wasn't until almost 3 full weeks later that he had surgery. But yeah, oddly enough, the specialist said, how come you didn't get in here sooner? You should have been in here like within a couple of days after you had the accident. And I said, you do realize what day that was? And he said, yeah. And I said, were you in your office? And he said, no, it was Thanksgiving. And I said, well, there you go. That's why we weren't in your office. So, okay, hang on. Drink of water. Hold on. Got to keep that cough at bay. So there's that. So he had the first surgery. Doctor did the repair, told him, what kind of things he was going to expect and that sort of thing. And so we went through all of that. Everything was relatively fine. It healed okay, but for whatever reason, physical therapy just did not go the way it was supposed to go. And, yeah, the physical therapist said it just wasn't healing as it should have. And, like on most people, no matter how thin your hands are or whatever, you still have a little bit of movement there. So you can see I've got, you can kind of pinch it, right? Like a little movement in there. Well, when my husband's finger healed, the whole 9 yards clear back into here. So you got a little bit of give right there. When it healed, it was like, it was like grabbing that, hard as a rock. It just didn't heal as it should have. So physical therapist said, my suggestion is this finger should have came off. My husband told the doctor originally, take the finger off. It's just too much hassle. You're holding me up at work. I don't want to deal with it, blah, blah, blah. Well, originally when they did the surgery was done on a Wednesday. Doctor told my husband he was going to be off work for about 21 days. My husband said, I don't think so. So the doctor says, okay, fine. Well, when you feel like you're ready to go back to work, you let me know. I'll sign the little paper says you can go back to work. But obviously you're going to be on one-handed light duty because, he's in had a half cast and was in a splint and that sort of thing because, still had the stitches and all of that. So doctor says, when you're ready, I'll let you go back to work. So my husband went back to work Friday morning and doctor signed the paper for him early that morning before he went back into work, and he was at work on one-handed light duty that Friday. And, with a splint on his hand. Stitches in his finger. Makes me laugh. The guy is no sitter, I can tell you that. But, so went through all of that, did the physical therapy. Like I said, physical therapist said that, you probably should have this taken off. It wasn't healing right. It would cramp up and it would cramp almost in a fist, or it would cramp in a claw, and sometimes it wouldn't straighten, and he would actually have to grab his own hand and bend it to make the finger bend and do that. So when my husband, he operates a crane and welds and things like that, and you can't have a finger doing its own thing while you're trying to do what you're doing because, he could drop something on somebody. And because normally when he's operating the crane, he's lifting railroad cars because that's how he hurt his finger. A safety feature for a railroad car actually failed, and it was a third-party thing, kind of long and the short of that, but not my husband's fault, not our company's fault. It was a completely different company and that sort of thing. So what my husband does is they actually do repair work on railroad cars, and they're a third-party company that keeps the railroad and the owners of these railroad cars that run up and down the railroad tracks, all over the world or all over the United States. My husband's company is what keeps these people honest in making sure that they have their stuff done. There's way more to it than that, but that's the simple answer to that. But so all of that. My husband finally tells the surgeon, the original surgeon, he says, I want this finger taken off. It's causing me problems. It's not healed correctly. I don't feel anything. It's hard as a rock. I can't do anything with it. And the surgeon kept telling him, oh, well, you're young, you're only 30, blah, blah, blah. It'll feel better. It'll feel better. And my husband's like, I don't have time for that. I want my finger taken off. And the doctor says, well, the only way I'll do it is if you have a second opinion. So he says, I will send you to go see Dr. B. And so we've got Dr. A, the original surgeon, Dr. B, not going to name any names, but he says Dr. B. And if you can convince him to take your finger off, then I will do the surgery and I will take it off. Well, he says, this guy is very, very conservative. It's going to be hard to convince him, but if you can convince him, I will do your surgery. So we go to see Dr. B. Dr. B asks my husband, what is it that you do? Blah, blah, blah. So he told all the answers and then said, how many days of work did you miss the last time? Because it's an LNI issue, which is labor and industry. And if you guys don't know what that is, in most states, it's considered workman's comp or somewhere along those lines. But for our state, it's labor and industry. So my husband said, doctor told me I was going to be off work for like 21 days. He said I only missed, Wednesday of the surgery, Thursday afterwards, and I was back at work on Friday morning, still working with my hand in a splint. And the doctor's like, okay. So as we go along and he explains what it is that he does, we discover that the surgeon, who's very, very conservative, actually used to do heavy construction road work to help himself pay his way through medical school, and did not even hesitate a single second for my husband to have his finger removed. He says, I can completely agree with the fact that yes, it is a safety issue and you don't want to drop something off of a crane on someone and that sort of thing. And he completely understood. And so it was quite a surprise for the original surgeon to hear that the secondary guy said, yeah, get it done. So grudgingly, he did the surgery on the 30th of March to remove my husband's finger. So now, sorry, wrinkle there, I had my finger in my pocket. So they removed the finger. So they took all of this off, removed all these bones that go back into here, and my husband's hand now looks like this. It's missing this part right here. And still have stitches and that sort of thing. And I do have pictures, but I'm not going to put them up. Everybody's like, ooh, we like gross. And I'm like, no, can't do gross. But yeah, so this is what has been going on. He had that surgery on the 30th. The following week, went back for the follow-up. This particular surgery, because the doctor actually removed the finger, he tells my husband, he's like, nope, you're going to be off work for at least 21 days. My husband said, I don't think so. And sure enough, surgery on a Wednesday. He was off Wednesday, off Thursday, and Friday morning was in the doctor's office going, I'm going back to work and you'd better sign my paper where I want it signed because I'm going back to work. He said, I am not going to sit at home and wait for 21 days and be on LNI all that time, because they only pay a partial. It's never a full payday, that sort of thing. It's a like 60 some odd % that they pay. And my husband's like, no way, I'm not missing all my work and I'm not missing all my overtime. So, yeah, doctor let him go back to work. And so he's been at work ever since. Supposed to have an appointment tomorrow on Wednesday, and hopefully they'll take his stitches out. And I'm sure he'll still be in like a partial splint so he can get himself back to work. But yeah, that's kind of our little update there as to what's been going on. I have been sick as a dog, trying to have a stroke and or heart attack. My husband had his finger cut off. Yeah, I've done a tiny little bit of shopping because, in all honesty, I haven't been able to actually leave my house. And because I go anywhere or do anything, the blood pressure starts to creep up and does its little thing. And until I can see the cardiologist, I've had 2 visits to the emergency room. I've had to call 911 and have an ambulance come to the house. And yeah, it was kind of crazy. It was late, and I was like, please don't use your siren and please don't turn your lights on because you'll freak out my neighbors. They laughed. They left the lights on, but they did not, at least they didn't use the siren. We could hear them when they were coming, and it was like I was still on the phone with the lady from 911, and I'm like, please ask them to turn the siren off. So she radioed them and told them to turn the siren off. Don't freak out my neighbors. So Yeah, it was comical. It's not funny, but it was comical. And at least I can still keep a sense of humor about the whole thing. Yeah, it's been an interesting ride for about the last 3 months. But yeah, so that having been said, I do have a few little hauls to share in some upcoming videos. I will dig out my video for this. It was actually kind of a surprise that I did to Michelle. I made her an extra tilde as well, because I made twin tildes and then sent her an extra one that she actually thought I was going to sell, because I had her completely believing I was selling it. And yet, there it is. It showed up in her package for her birthday and for Christmas. So there's all of that. But like I said, I've got a few projects that I'm working on. I've done a few very, very simple things. I made some paper clips, like some cute little, that sort of thing. And yeah, nothing major. Nothing major. I will show those in another, I'll show those in another video, but I've kind of played with that. I started a flip book that is still sitting here in the middle of my desk, because for a while there I was literally so sick I could not even get up. My blood pressure would either go straight up through the roof or totally and completely bottom out to almost nothing, and my head hurt so bad. But yeah, it just an issue of, started out as a cough, and nice doctor lady tried to fix it with some different medication, and quite frankly, playing roulette with blood pressure medication is no fun thing, because the last time I had to do that was about 20 years ago. And yeah, I've been taking lisinopril for a good number of years from that, and never ever had a problem until relatively recently. So there's that for you. But kind of crazy. So that's been our fun and excitement. And yeah, I think that's about it. So thanks, everybody. I'm sorry my voice sounds a little weird. It's a lot deeper than it should be. And hopefully that will come back. For a little while there, I actually literally sounded like an 80-year-old man with emphysema or something. And the only reason why I say man and not woman is because, a man's voice is deeper, but it was kind of scary. At one point, my mom actually called to say, hi, honey, how are you doing? That kind of thing. And when I answered the phone, it scared her so bad that I couldn't talk. I couldn't talk to her. And I scared her just by how I sounded. I was like kind of, excuse me, cough barking into the phone. Okay, it's starting, people. But I was kind of cough barking into the phone. It was awful. And I tried to call her back to let her know, and I sounded almost worse. And so I texted my sister, and I was like, please call Mom and tell her that I'm fine. It's just the cough. And that, yes, she had the right number. No, she didn't call the wrong person. That sort of thing. And so she called my mom to let her know that everything was okay. And they've, everyone's been very supportive, and it kind of freaked out everybody in the family that my blood pressure could be that high, and that I didn't actually have a stroke or a heart attack, at least as far as we know. So, yeah, what I have to look forward to is all those lovely, fun tests that I did years ago and have not had to endure until now. And I know they're coming, and I guess I will just gladly do them. So there's all of that. And to all of my new subscribers, thank you so much for subbing to my channel. And hopefully I subbed everybody back as I thought I did. And if I didn't, if you subbed me and I haven't subbed you back, send me a message, private message me, let me know, and I will sub you right away. Like I said, I've just kind of like head's a little wonky and things going on and that sort of deal. And I have been trying so desperately to get myself back into my craft room, because you all know this is what keeps us sustained throughout our craziness. But yeah, so there's all of that, guys. I will let you go and get out of your hair. But like I said, thank you to all my subscribers. Thank you to my new subbies. Yeah, be looking out for some new videos. I've got a couple of new projects that I'm working on. I'm doing some mixed media things. I would like to do some ATC cards. I've kind of been prepping for all of that. Like I said, I have a flip book that I've been working on, some altered paper clips, an altered book. I don't know if that's what that's called. A journal. I'm not sure what it's called. I've got it partially started. I will get it finished soon. It's kind of a continuing work in progress, what I've been doing with it, and I'm loving what I have so far. But yeah, and in the midst of making some, what do you call them? Sprays, glimmer mist, homemade glimmer mist. So that's kind of what I have for everybody to look forward to seeing, so you can kind of see how I did it. And maybe a tutorial in there somewhere. I'm not really sure, but you know, we'll figure that all out. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. All my love to everybody. And I've been watching videos. I don't always comment, but I've been watching everybody's videos as well. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like if I'm commenting, I'm talking, and if I'm talking, I'm coughing. So I don't know. Don't mind me. It's just the sense of humor getting in the way. Okay. Thanks everyone. I will talk with you soon. Bye now.